Well, hey everybody, it's Tom here on my next big adventure. I'm in lovely Martinsville, Virginia, home of the Martinsville Speedway, and I'm going to be doing an all-day survival training on, by its way, it's lovely out here. Look at the gorgeous trees, and of course cars going to run down. But here I am, and I'm going to be taking a whole day survival training up in those mountains there on edible plants and medicinal plants and plants that can be used for making rope and things like that. So you know, you can do a lot of fun, interesting stuff when you're successful at business. So I hope you take to that and take some weekends and do some cool stuff. So I'll report more when I get there and munch out on some plants. I wonder if these are edible. I don't know. I think I'm going to go to McDonald's before I start. Hey everybody. Okay, so I'm on the first leg of my adventure here with Scott and Lee. So that's Lee over there. Scott's holding the camera right now. We'll get him a little later. And this is, what's the name of this place?
This is, we're on the Sigma 3 Plant Walk at the Sustainable Homestead Institute.
Sigma 3 Plant Walk at the Sustainable what?
Homestead Institute.
Homestead Institute.
And we're in Ridgeway, Virginia.
And we're in Ridgeway, Virginia. And this was what, Lee?
This is Greenbrier.
Greenbrier. And apparently when it's older, it's a rose bush. You don't want to eat the thorns. But the baby stuff up here, this is going to be my first effort at eating anything green without blue cheese dressing or ranch on it. So here we go. Let's see. So I just might as well do it, huh? Oh man. Kind of bland at this point. Well, a little bit of kick at the end. You said these little, what do you call these little?
The tendrils.
Tendrils. You said they're more tart?
Yeah, yeah.
And how long would I survive doing this? Let's see. Long enough to get to McDonald's.
Yeah, I'd stay away from the older stock there, but.
He says stay away from the older stock. Just keep eat the babies, basically. All right, not bad. I wouldn't complain about this if I was stuck somewhere and really needed this. One more tendril for good luck. All right, we'll report more. And he's showing me the difference in the leaves on trees. This is a compound leaf. This, we still have some here. This is this was an opposite. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, this is red maple, so we can see that the leaves branch off in an opposite pattern. And we have American beech here, which displays the alternate.
Alternate, okay. Compound, alternate, and opposite, right?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So I'm learning already. It's first 5 minutes, folks. All right, we'll check with you later. So Scott, we're going to make some cordage. Is that what we're going to do?
Yep, so this is the poplar tree. This is a really useful tree. We use it for bow drills because it's a low-density wood, but it's also really good.
Use it for bow drill. You mean to start fires?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that what it is? Okay.
So the pinnacle of this survival stuff is no knife, so you don't take a knife out from the woods. At least for me, that's what it is. And my native friends, they said that you could bring down a tree easily by honoring the 4 directions. So if you, you know, north, south, east, and west.
Yeah, it was gone before you even got to west.
Yeah, exactly, right. But so we can harvest the tree easily without a knife. But what we're really looking for in this is the bark. It just makes tremendously good cordage. So if we break it, we can start seeing the bark easily peel off.
You said it's a poplar?
This is a poplar, right. This one.
Let's break it again and I'll start working on the lower end.
Sweet. So yeah, so that is a longer strip. This one is a little bit more dead than we would like, I think. Sometimes it just strips off really, really easily.
Are you looking for one long piece, or you put it together?
The longer pieces are easier to use.
Yeah, because you don't have to.
And
got
a
a good spot.
tip about peeling the bark, if you peel against the grain, the strip will tend to run out. Let's see if I can demonstrate that here. Yeah, so if you peel against the grain,
It
it'll
splits
run
over.
out. But if you keep them parallel, you can remove a lot more.
Oh, look at that.
And then so we have the outer coating, the skin of the tree. Then we have the fibers, which are a little bit deeper. So if we want the absolute best quality of cordage, we can actually remove this outer bark with abrasion. There's a number of ways to do it here. I'm just going to work it with my fingers to show you what it looks like. And then we're removing this outer bark, and we're exposing these fibers within. And that's what gives us the strength and the flexibility. And so that's what we're after here. So I'm just going to process this down a little bit thinner, and then we're going to show you the reverse wrap technique, which is the general technique for making cordage.
Beautiful. All right, Scott's going to start from scratch, showing you, what's this technique called?
This is called the reverse wrap technique for making cordage.
Making cordage, and then I'll show you what I accomplished in no time at all.
So this is a bark from the poplar tree that I just harvested, and for the best quality of cordage, I mean, poplar is a really good species. There's lots of things to do it with, but you see how that inner bark removes really nicely. This will give us super strong string and won't have all this extra bulk of the bark, but it's a really easy process. I like to take my non-dominant hand and hold it, and then I start it, so I just fold it over, but I don't want them to overlap in the same spot, and that'll become apparent when we add more stuff. But the first step is just to pinch it. So the top one, I roll that one away from me, and then I grab the bottom one and bring that to the top. This non-dominant hand then pans forward to hold that tension. So the top's always twisting away, and then the bottom's being brought to the top. Bottom twists away, bring up to the top. And you can start seeing that's a little bit of a rope shape happening. So I keep on doing that. And so now I'm getting towards the end where, I'm running out of material, so I'm going to add some more. So I just take off the inner bark of one of these other sections.
And I got to tell you, folks, I'll show you what I did in just a few minutes, and that's what happens when you have really good people teaching you stuff.
So this goes, just lays over the top, and then you pretend like they're just one string, and you just keep on twisting it. And so we did that, so this end combines at a different spot, because if they combined it at the same spot, a chain's only as strong as the weakest link, then it would give us a weak spot that would break. So we've got a good amount of rope here made just in no time at all, enough to show you the technique.
And it's very strong too, folks. And then if you need it stronger, he showed me a technique to fold it over and just keep going.
Right, so that's the double reverse wrap. So we've got our section of string, and we need it stronger, so we just fold it over and do the same thing. And you can start seeing the top of this one, the tension becomes undone, and then when you wrap it around that one, they cinch together to form an even stronger string. I do this with napkins all the time when I'm sitting at restaurants, and I've never had anybody be able to pull one apart. So that's a standing challenge, but you can see you get some pretty strong cordage in just no time at all. Josh Hamlin, he's our senior primitive skills instructor. The two things that he was doing at nighttime was one, making cordage, and the other one was fixing his moccasins. So it's an extremely good skill to know.
And here's what I did in a few minutes, folks. Just no trouble at all. And then Lee's been over there while we're talking and created a whole piece of rope that there's no way anybody could pull that apart.
But that's...
There's no way anybody could pull this apart. Look at that. Look, tug of war in the woods here. Yeah, they're going to hurt their hands beforehand. So that's how to make cord. Awesome. Well, folks, this is the most important plant on this whole 150-acre farm. This is it's called mullein. And I don't know about this top part here, but the bottom part is what I would probably concentrate on. They tell me it's the best thing for toilet paper in the woods.
It's really good.
But this top part, I'm not sure about that. That's
Right.
for if you're constipated, I guess. You got to shove that in you. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
well.
tell them about what else this will do for you, Scott.
So this, the leaf is really great. It's a super soft leaf. That's why we say that it's good for.
Can you get on this side?
So we've got this really soft leaf. This is the good part for toilet paper. But if you feel that, you can kind of feel the hairs and stuff, and you can see why that would be a good piece of paper. This is also good for.
Didn't you say though that you don't want to go too far with it?
Right. After weeks and weeks of use on this, you will develop a rash.
Oh, after weeks and weeks.
But
Okay,
yeah, so
not
if you're in the woods, you got you're fine. But it's a really good toilet paper. But medicinally, it's really great for lung functioning. This is a plant that people like to smoke, to dry and
Okay.
smoke, and then or as a tea. And it's got really good.
It's legal though, huh?
Yeah. Really good. Healing properties for the lungs. And some people say, if you look at a plant and determining by how it looks, it might mimic a portion in the body. So here, these are like the cilia.
In your lungs,
on your
right,
lungs.
yeah.
So it might give you a clue as to the point where it's good. But this is a really lots of people sell this in a smoking formula that actually regenerates the lungs. But yeah, so they do that with the flowers. You can make a tea or dry them and then smoke them. But the stalk, you see, so the first year it sends out this basil rosette down at the bottom.
At the bottom, yeah.
And then the second year it shoots up this stalk. And the stalk, it's got a pithy center, so when it dries, it's really good for hand drills. So you can...
To make fire.
Yeah, so a friction fire material. But it really likes disturbed soils and like heavily compacted areas. So you see it growing a lot along the sides of roads.
Perfect. If you ran out of toilet paper
Yeah,
on
exactly,
the side, right?
right?
You
Right,
jump out and
driving
there
down
you
the
go.
highway.
Nature takes care of us, doesn't it?
It does. It does. If you know what to look for, it absolutely does.
All right.
Yeah, so that's mullein.
So this is wood sorrel, really common yard plant. So it's edible, very nice tart flavor, great addition to salads.
Well, I'm getting hungry because all this stuff to me is like Chinese. It's not that filling. And you said this is found where?
Just lawns, just open areas. You'll see it in a more woods environment as well.
Yeah, it gives you a bite at the end. It's a little tart. Over here, Scott, you got a serious compost machine, right?
Yeah, this is pretty slick. This is a mantis system that they advertise.
What is it?
It's a mantis. That's the company that makes it. But this is their largest one they offer. So you fill up your carbons, your nitrogens in there, your greens and browns, and then you can clamp it down. And it's nice so that you've got one system you can be filling up while the other one's cooking all the time. But this is the secret to making super fast compost, is injecting air into it. So they say if you turn this 5 times a day, you'll have compost in as little as 14 days.
Wow. What's normal for compost?
It could be years if you're not turning it. So I can make compost really quickly down at the chicken coops, because I use chicken power to do that. But,
Chicken power.
But otherwise,
Yay, chicken power,
right, exactly. But this is great for like a home or even an apartment or something. And it's nice, so when you're done, your wheelbarrow just drives in the bottom, and you can.
And you just
into
dump
your
it out.
wheelbarrow.
Oh,
So
very
it's a good
cool.
system.
Nice.
I don't use
What's
it
the
as
name
much
of
as
that?
I should. This is a mantis twin compartment turning compost.
What do they go for?
This one I think is about $500.
$500, yeah.
They're kind of pricey, but when you think of utilizing all the money that you're putting into your food, you spend $1 on a tomato or something. If you don't eat the whole tomato, this is a way that you can capitalize on every cent that you spend with your food. So
Awesome.
it's a good system to have. And there's lots of ways with compost that you can heat water and do lots of other things that add to the benefit of it. But this is a really good system for doing
Beautiful.
it quickly.
Okay, we're here in Scott's kitchen. What are we going to do here, man?
Right, so we're looking at herbal medicine, and the key to all herbal medicine is you have to get the constituents in the plant in contact with the membranes that you want to heal. So we're making a salve, which is a typically topically applied, like a cream or whatever, for skin irritation. So the first step that we need to do for that is infuse the oil. So I've had this sitting overnight. This is plantain. It grows pretty regularly in most yards and sunny places. It's very, very common. But I've been infusing this oil with the constituents of the plant. So
what oil are you talking about?
this is just olive oil. So
just olive oil.
Olive oil is great. Coconut oil is really good too. But I use olive oil because it's the same stuff that I cook with most of the time. So I've just had, this is about 5 cups of plant matter with a whole bottle of oil, so about 50 ounces.
It's been going all night.
Yep, so about 10 hours, and then it's been sitting just cool. The longer that you have it going, the more constituents that you're going to draw out from the plant, and the stronger your medicine's going to be. But in the interest of time and potency, 10 hours is really good. So this is the first step in making the salve. We need to infuse the oil with whatever plant matter we want to get the medicinal values from. So we need to strain this out, and then that'll give us just the infused oil without any plant matter in it. So that's what we're going to do.
That's what we're going to do next. So I noticed you got metal bowls there.
Yeah, so when we're making medicines, we really want to use stainless or glass whenever possible, because that's not going to get any contaminants in with our medicine. When we make wilderness herbal medic kits, we use the Nalgene bottles, and those are BPA free, so that's a pretty good.
It's just plain old plastic crap from the department store, not good.
Right. Because you just don't know what goes in it. Like one of these pitchers, like who knows what they're making that with in China, and I don't want that in my medicine because we're really concerned about purity. So here's a strainer. This just goes over. Then we take our oil that's been infused and just dump it in to get the plant matter out of there.
Could use that for like black bean tacos too, couldn't you?
You could. But yeah, so we get our material. This can go in the sink to get washed. But now you can see all that oil starting to drip out.
Can you reuse the oil? Or no?
Well, we're going to use that in our medicine.
Oh, okay.
So
the plant matter is discarded or
Yep,
composted?
goes in your compost pit.
Ah.
What we're looking for, all the medicinal value is now been contained in the oil.
Ah, boy, you made lots of it.
Yeah, this will be enough for quite a bit.
And the use of this is a surface.
This is really good for like bites or scrapes, or I've had a lot of success soothing sunburns with it, which is why we do it at the summer plant walk here.
And this is one of 3 different plant walks you do, right?
Yep. So each season, and in winter, there's not a lot of plant material out there.
That's the yellow snow walk.
Yeah, right, exactly. The yellow snow and raccoon walk. But yeah, so I've got all the oil, and that's been infused. We're going to continue to let that drip for a little while and probably press it out, make sure we got everything, and then we'll move on to the next step.
So you're getting every last drop, right?
Yeah, I just don't want it to go to waste.
Yeah, there's no sense to it. Right?
Spent the time to infuse it. And I'm just pressing it through because I don't want to spend all day to watch it drip out. I've done that before, and in the interest of time, we're just pressing it through.
So we got about 5 cups here, and you got the beeswax. What was the ratio again, you said?
So 5 cups, anywhere from 5 to 8 of the oil, and then 1 cup of the beeswax. And that just depends on what you like. If you like a harder paste, or what you're looking for.
So we got about 5 cups there, right?
Yeah. So now we're gonna take.
But you got a ton of beeswax.
I do, and I like this for candles and stuff, but I can just reheat it.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not gonna use that one. So there we go. I'll see that start hardening up, hopefully. Cool. Now we'll give it a stir, and then we'll just put it into.
What was the base plan of this again?
This is plantain.
Plantain.
Yep.
This is good for sunburn, for
bee stings.
Bee
It works really
stings.
well. Any sort of time that the skin is inflamed and in pain, plantain's a good one to choose. I'm going to add a little bit more to that. Probably should have heated up the oil a little bit. It seemed a little cool. But yeah, so this will act as a hardener. And I might microwave this for a second just to let it congeal a little bit, or let it loosen before it congeals. But then we
all the settlers did that too.
Yeah, super fast microwave. But then we take our salve and put it in our jar, and then as all that cools, that'll be a good.
Beautiful. And what's
salve
this other
for
one?
us.
It's just a different plant. It says yarrow on it.
Yeah, this is a tincture that I'm gonna show you how to make, and this has been sitting for a while. But a tincture is another way to get plant constituents in contact with the skin that you're trying to, or the mucus that you're trying to fix. But this is a tincture, which is better for internal ingesting.
Got it.
So we've got a topical, and then we've got an internal, and you could do that with, with any plant that you wanted to. It just happens that one's yarrow.
Any edible plant, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yarrow isn't. I wouldn't eat it in that.
Oh, so
form.
it's not going to be good to eat, but it's still good to ingest as a medicine.
But this is where you really need to know the plant,
Right.
know the area, and know how that you can prepare it to then affect bodily healing that way. That's a really important step in wild crafting.
Okay, Scott, what are we doing here?
So we're going to take a look at making tinctures. So we made a salve already, but this is for getting constituents of a plant to internal organs most of the time. And pretty typically, it's nice to have a combination of approach. Of course, you want to be really careful knowing the plants and knowing how your body's going to react to them. But so this is more of an internal approach. This is yarrow, so you could have a yarrow.
That's the finished product, right?
No, well, this is a midway step.
Oh, okay.
So we've taken alcohol, and this is a 40% alcohol vodka, and we just soak our herbs in that. And you can see I like to write the date on this one, so this has been soaking for a long time. This is a simple. You can make formulas where you start getting several plants working together, but this is the intro and the easiest way to start. So I just fill the jar up with yarrow, and then as much as I can get in there, and then fill it up with liquor. And now I'm going to take the plant matter off because all I want is the liquor that's left. So I just drip it out into the cheesecloth. We like unbleached cheesecloth because it's just one less contaminant. Then we'll hold it and just start squeezing on it. Oh, and try not to spill out a bunch into the side like I'm doing. But whatever, we'll just filter that out again. That's no problem. But you can see it's starting to drip off and really leaving that plant matter behind. And this started out as clear vodka, so you can see that it's picked up something from the plant, and those are the constituents that are going to affect our healing. So we just let this go, and then once it's finished dripping out, we'll move on to the next step.
All right, what's the next step?
So we've got our liquor out from our plant matter, and I'm just going to filter it one more time through this sieve just to make sure there's not really any plant matter still left. So now we just have our liquor and the plant constituents. Then the next step is bottling it up, and I really like these amber bottles because they block out sunlight, and they have these nice drippers in there too. So
where do you get that stuff?
I got these from E-zine.
Oh yeah,
you can get a big box of them, and then I just pour the liquor in there, and it really doesn't take so much of this. You can really overdose quickly. It's only like 4 to 5 drops is one dosage. But with all herbal medicine, this is something that you have to start slowly and keep a journal and to see how your body reacts to the chemicals. There's not so much behind this like regular medicine, so there's not really a doctor that you can go to and get a prescription. So this is something that you need to undertake carefully and with a lot of supervision until you become proficient in it. But there is possibility to hurt yourself with this stuff. So that's the disclaimer. Be careful and do your research before you do start.
But what are you saying that this is good for?
This is well, I'm not a doctor. I'm not saying this is good for anything. But I have had success in treating cold and flu in myself, and then it's really amazing. I tell this story. I couldn't control my body temperature. I was just shivering, just felt terrible one day, and I took 4 or 5 drops of this, and within 15, 20 minutes, I was 100% back to normal functioning. So it's really good. Urinary tract infections, I know people have used yarrow successfully to treat that. But this is a uterine stimulant, so you don't want to be using it if you're in your first trimester of pregnancy, because
I hate that when I do that.
Some really nasty things that could be complications of that. But this is our final product that'll keep for a long time. I've stored had it over a year to still see effect.
How do you store it?
I just keep it in my medicine cabinet.
So it doesn't have to be refrigerated?
Just a
anything?
cool, dark spot. I guess you could refrigerate it. I don't know. I haven't done any testing or anything to say if that's a good idea or not. But this is how I do it. And then I'll label it yarrow, the date, and then a lot of times. So the yarrow, common name on this side, and then Achille microfolium on the other side.
The Latin name. Right?
Yeah, so that you learn those. And it's just one more way of drilling yourself in the Latin name. But that's tinctures, and this is for internal use.
Okay, here we are at, I guess, base camp, where people learn all kinds of skills. I guess some primitive, some not primitive, to survive. Tell us about this guy.
Yeah, so this is the area where we gather, and then we move out from here. But we focus on the rule of 3, and that's how all of our programs are pretty much laid out. And that's our priorities of survival. So you have about 3 hours without shelter. So the first day we spend all on shelter. You have a little bit longer, 3 days without water, though when you're building shelters and stuff, you're going to want it a whole lot quicker. So the second day we focus on, and these are all primitive to modern techniques. So the goal is that you can go out into the woods with literally nothing by the end of the course and be pretty happy. We do a lot of knife-only training, but even then, that's a luxury. So we do shelter, water. We spend a whole day on fire, rubbing sticks together to shooting sparks with a ferro rod. Then we do a whole lot of trapping and plants on the 4th day. And then the 5th day is tools, where we make some primitive hunting things to make just life in the woods a whole lot easier.
So are people just staying here the whole 5 days,
Yeah,
right? In this, they're living here, right?
Yeah, so people come in, they bring hammocks, sleeping bags, tents, and then they stay in here. Some people choose to stay in our primitive shelters that we've constructed, so we give them that opportunity. And we definitely build those when they come. But just for the sheer volume of people.
Let's walk down through here.
Let's do it.
So there's some teepees there. Is that fire?
Yeah, that's
to hold the stuff over a fire?
Yeah. So they could be, or that's a chair.
Oh yeah,
it could be whatever you need it to. But we do a lot of the lashing of tripods for different things, so that you could cook or build a chair or have something to support your shelter. But that's what this is.
There's a bottle of wine here in case you get tired of the training.
Yeah, exactly. We make some water filters out of that. But this is the jungle hooch. This is a pretty cool shelter. For this time of year, this is what I would go with.
Jungle hooch.
Yeah, so it gets you up off the ground and protects you from the rain. In environments where you have ants or snakes or things that could really kill you, this is a great method.
Is this considered a twin or a queen?
This is a full.
full size.
But yeah, you can make these massive, and we've had actually built them so that a couple people could sleep in these things. But they're really comfortable. We had a guy come out here, had just spent $5,000 on a new mattress, and for back pain and stuff, gets in here and he's amazed that this feels better than his $5,000.
What was the name you had for these?
The jungle hooch. That's what we.
No, but you had something with regard to mattress.
Survival memory foam.
Oh, yeah.
Survival memory foam.
The debris here. Yeah.
But yeah, the debris is our #1 building block out in the woods. We have like debris and logs, and we bring some rope with us. But of course we
But if we didn't have the tarp, you could still make walls on this with.
For sure. This is called a jungle hooch because you mainly use it in jungle environments where you have a lot of access to really large leaves that you could thatch it. You could do it with grass. But after we build the debris hut, we always just start carrying a tarp with us because.
This is a lot of fun. This looks like a giant ant hill.
Yep, that's actually what it is. So this is a debris hut. This is the first shelter. Well, it's one of the first shelters that we teach, and we like it because it's one of the only shelters that will heat itself by you just crawling in there. Your body heat radiating and then warming the space. We differentiate between shelter and cover, where a shelter has a heat source there too. In this case, it's you.
Or any kind of little animals that crawl in with you to sleep with you.
Little composting action.
Yeah.
Seen a porcupine run out of one before.
Porcupine, yeah. So what a place. Okay, so we're leaving the campsite. Where are we going?
We're driving down to the bottom field. We're gonna look at some autumn olive and some other stuff down there, spice bush, and some other things that are good. We're just on the move right now.
And so what do we got coming in here? This looks like Attack of the Zombie Chickens.
Yeah, a little bit.
Coming after me.
It's only got a leg, so maybe that one will hop.
So they're not afraid, huh?
No, they're not. They're very friendly. These are a French breed, the Salmon Faverolles. But they're very docile. They're friendly.
They don't peck your eyes out?
No. Yeah.
Come on, buddy. What's up? So they came out because we're out here, huh?
Yeah.
They're expecting you to feed them or something?
They'll probably get some food.
Or they're just friendly?
They're friendly. They're a friendly breed.
I guess they get bored in there, huh?
Yeah. Let me get some food.
Oh, they know that thing, huh? Oh, here we go. Who are these guys?
These are the baby chickens. So we've got 200 birds that I'll come and process later.
They're the same brand as these?
No, these are a meat bird. These are the Cornish cross chickens, which grow pretty quick. It's only like 12 weeks that they take to before they're ready to survive. But this is that conventional big white chicken that you see. And we got meat rabbits in here too. So I could do like 700 pounds of meat just off these cages here a year. So come on, chickens, let's get some food.
To sell, or do you have to consume it yourself?
We use them for plastic mainly.
Oh.
But then I'll freeze them and I'll eat them. I'll
yeah.
eat them.
Wow. Those guys are fast.
Look, there's the one with one leg.
What happened to him?
I don't know.
So can they actually fly?
Not really. They can hover, but that's very rare. Now the peacock, I wonder where that is. I have to check on out to play for us.
Yeah, there's a whole group up in Virginia Beach trying to hit the city council to get them to allow, not roosters, but...
Yeah, but four chickens, that's enough to feed a family.
Yeah, I'm having trouble holding it.
right, we got some punk wood here that's making some smoke. What's up?
So this is partially decayed birch wood. We just found a rotting out birch
so it's
tree.
not punk wood, or that's a nickname?
This is punk wood. That's what the label we use to describe this wood in this stage of decomposition.
Oh, okay.
So it's lost a lot of its density. It's very soft. You can just break it apart with your hands. It's kind of permeable. It feels like balsa wood, but it burns very easily, and you can see how hot that is. So this works as a coal extender. You can.
What do you mean by that? Coal extenders.
So it'll burn for a very long time, and it's quite hot. And so you could put this into a tinder bundle, and even a marginal tinder bundle that's still fairly moist, and there would be enough heat and enough duration there that it would dry out the tinder bundle. And
you can carry it with you then?
You can also use it, yes, to carry your fire with you. If you had a larger piece, you could also do some things to wrap it to kind of slow the burn so that you could travel with it. You have lots of options like this, but this is a great tool, and even in absolutely damp conditions, everything's just soaking wet. You can find sometimes a dead, hollowed out tree where you can reach in, and you can get this even in extremely wet conditions. You can find good, dry, usable punk wood. Great resource to utilize.
And this would get rid of bugs and stuff around you? Or
Absolutely. That's another application. So if you have a survival shelter like a debris hut, and you want to get all those insects out of that debris, out of that space, you can put something slow burning like this that'll smoke, and that smoke will drive the insects away.
Beautiful. Good tip. Thanks, Lee. Wow, I'm finishing my big adventure up here at the Mayo River in North Carolina, where we learned a lot of other good stuff. But I want to thank Scott and Lee for a great day. I mean, talk about value. You people that know me know that I'm all about extreme value and all the things we do. Man, I'm leaving early because I'm so saturated with great learning from these guys. And I know I got to come back because this is only one season where I'm learning, so I got to learn the other seasons. And one thing that I really recognize is you got to study like crazy, because I just touched the tip of the iceberg today, but boy, it sure opened my eyes. Thanks, Scott. And what other kind of courses you have?
So we start with the basics. We do this plant course 3 times a year. That way you can see them in pretty much every season. We leave out the winter because there's not a lot to see there, but we offer this course 3 times a year. We do a lot of wilderness basics all the way up to knife-only training. So really, if you're looking to live in the woods, we're the place to be at. My personal passion is farming, so when you come take the class from us, you get to see all the rotational systems that we have that really add a lot of fertility to the environment and make for a better environment all the way around. So that's what I'm really into. You can find my website and my nonprofit at sustainablehomestead.com. But if you're interested in checking out more of these plant walks, or being really forced into the wilderness aspects of it, we do that too. And we'll take you from knife only all the way to really happy and abundance through the end. But you can check us out either at sustainablehomestead.com, that's my nonprofit, or Sigma 3. We do a lot of training through them, and they're a really awesome organization. And they have campuses worldwide too. So if you're not in Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee area, check them out. There might be a course close to where you are.
Okay, and Lee was great today too. Lee's been doing this since how old?
Oh, I started learning the plants around 11 years old.
11 years old, so he's at least 15 now, so that's been 4 years worth of this. Tell us what you think about today, Lee.
It was a productive day. We got to cover a lot of material today. Really a pleasure to be with you all today.
Awesome, and we'll see you at some of the other classes too?
I hope so. Yeah.
Okay, great. So again, thanks Scott, thanks Lee, and there's the Mayo River saying goodbye from, this is North Carolina, right?
Yep.
All right, see you later.